Now, even though I was in a coma, I was aware of everything that was going on around me. I was aware of every conversation they were having, everything they were feeling, everything they were saying. I was just completely aware of everything, and I felt incredible. I felt like I was, as though I was encompassed by, I can only call it unconditional love, but even that word is so limited.
Yes.
But it felt like for the first time in my life, I felt like I was loved unconditionally, but that I didn't have to prove myself anymore. For the first time, it was like I let go. I was relaxed. I felt I didn't have to work at being more lovable or being liked or being more spiritual. It was like I was loved regardless. It was like I was just bathed in this energy, this amazing, loving, magnificent energy.
And you also described that you felt at one with everybody and everything.
I did. I felt connected, as though at our consciousness level we're all one, we're all connected.
And
so
that was actually your experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt like as though I merged with my husband, but even with the doctor, the nurse, my mother. And then I was aware of things that were seemingly miles away. But to me, nothing was far away, because it was like I was connected to everything. I sensed my brother, who was actually in India, rushing to get on a plane to come and see me. But I sensed his, that he was frantic to get to me on time.
Yeah. So you didn't actually see them. It was more a sensing, or can you describe?
Yes.
As close. I know you try to translate something into words, which can only be an experience.
Yes. I saw them, like I saw my brother on the plane coming to see me.
Yeah.
Yet, at the same time, I used the word saw loosely, because I wasn't seeing with eyes. When you see with eyes, you're focused from one point.
Yes, yes.
And so from one point, it's wherever my vision can reach. But without eyes, without a physical body, without physical limitations, it was like I spilled out and spread and just expanded and expanded, and I encompassed it.
Well, could you say that awareness was seeing, awareness did the looking?
Yes, but it was total awareness.
Yes.
And I could see everything.
Yes.
But I could see everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't limited by distance, and it wasn't limited by time either. So it's like 360-degree peripheral vision, but at the same time, it felt as if everything was happening at once. It's not linear, like sequential, like the way when you're in the physical body.
Yes.
I think maybe our minds interpret time as being linear, but when we're not expressing through the minds, and when we are just pure awareness or pure consciousness, it was like there's no linear time. Everything is happening all at once, all at the same time.
And when you looked at your body, was there anything going on in
I felt no attachment to my body at all. And because I was feeling so amazing and so magnificent and expanded, like huge and powerful, my body just looked really small and weak and limp and lifeless, just lying there. It was insignificant. And there's this feeling of, how can that little insignificant thing house this, what I feel now?
Exactly. How
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Exactly.
But did you find an answer?
Well, slowly the understanding started to come. And this is the part that's quite hard to explain, simply because because time is not linear. So I felt as though that over there everything was happening at the same time. So now, coming back, I have to figure out how to explain it in a sequence that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes. Excuse me one moment.
Yeah.
So I'm sometimes I struggle to make it all make sense sequentially. So in that realm, it was as though I encountered my father, because it was as though I became his essence. I understood him. I encountered my best friend. I also sensed that my brother and I had some kind of a link from another life, and I sensed my husband and I had some kind of a purpose that is linked to us being together. But here in this life, like even when I'm writing the book, I have to make it make sense to the reader and put it in some kind of sequential order. But in actuality, it was as though all of this was happening at the same time.
Yeah. So when you say another life, this is not like 100 or 200 or 500 years ago. It is happening right now.
It is happening right now. So I could normally interpret it as my brother and I shared a previous life together, but it didn't feel, in that realm, it didn't feel that the life I could see was previous. It felt like it was happening right here and right now.
Yeah.
Just like in one life right now, I'm lying on a hospital bed. My brother is on a plane coming to see me. My mum and my husband are around me, waiting for me to take my last breath.
Yeah.
In another life, I'm with my brother in another scene, where in that life, he's my younger brother, whereas currently he's my older brother. And it was happening as real as this one.
Yes.
So it didn't feel like it was a past life. It's as though everything, even our what we call past lives, are actually running simultaneously. They're parallel.
Right. Yes.
That's what it felt like in that
Yes.
realm.
Yeah. And you also mentioned that when you felt emotions coming towards you, you were drawn away.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes, every time I felt like I would watch the scene unfolding of my husband getting very emotional because I was dying and the doctors saying that I was not going to make it, and my mother was very emotional, I would start to feel for them. I would start to feel emotional and I would start to get drawn in. But as soon as I would start to get emotionally drawn in, I felt, and it wasn't me consciously doing it, but I felt as though I was then being pulled back. And then an awareness would come in that it's all perfect in the grander scheme. And then I would feel myself getting detached. And then there was like a knowing, like a knowledge that in the bigger picture, in the grander scheme, everything is okay, no matter what happens. Even if my body dies, it's still okay. And it could be because in the greater tapestry there are other lives, you know, like I was seeing the other life. So in this particular life, even if my body died, it's still okay. And I seem to understand that the essence of who I am never truly dies. And whatever the outcome in this scene, it's still okay, it's still perfect.
No matter how it looks like?
No matter how it looks like. So it's like the further you step back, the more you can see the order and the grander scheme, and it's still okay.
Right.
And even though I understood that my husband's life is inextricably linked to mine, I seem to understand that if I died, he would probably follow me soon after. But I also realized that even that is okay. Even in the grander scheme of things, that's okay.